Alright guys, my name is Sarah, I'm a BCBA, and today our video is going to be about how I got into the field of ABA, kind of like that introductory, that first company, what did I do. I'm going to give you some advice on what you can do if you're wanting to get into ABA as well, kind of what BCBAs are looking for when they're hiring. We're going to talk about it all, so let's go ahead and get into it. So how I got into the field, I was 18 at the time and I just wanted something different. I had worked in food service, I've worked with my dad, I haven't had like a serious job yet. I was getting ready to start my bachelor's in psychology. I knew I loved that field, just wasn't quite sure yet on what I wanted to do though. So I was literally just looking for jobs, scrolling, working with kids, exploring the schools, just trying to figure out what the heck I wanted to do. And I came across, working with kids with autism. So I'll be honest with you guys, I knew nothing about autism. I knew nothing about like working with kids. I knew nothing in the field of ABA, but I was like, this sounds cool. So I went ahead and applied. So they, by the grace, hired me. I went through the interview process and everything. So they ended up hiring me. And this was literally life-changing. I haven't left the field since. So, I am very thankful for them and trusting me and willing to train me. The company wasn't perfect by any means. I'm going to make a video kind of talking about my first company experience, which I think is going to be super fun. But anyway, so I got hired and I was trained in that position. And, it was... So with this first company, it was an in-home company. So in ABA, there's typically in-home, in-clinic, and then in schools. So this company was strictly in-home ABA. So again, this was my first experience with any of this. So great, sounds good, let's do it. So they kind of trained me, they gave me a few caseloads. I would drive around to these different families and work for a couple hours providing these services. And then I was a 1099 employee with this first company. I had no idea what I was doing, guys. I really didn't. So when you're looking to get into this field, that can be common, being a 1099, which means you're your own employer, you're your own company as far as like taxes go and everything. I personally would recommend being a W-2 employee, especially when you're starting out, because it's hard. You don't know anything. It's new. You really need that support. So I was a 1099, no idea what I was doing. Yeah. So when you're thinking about in-home versus in-clinic, what you're gonna wanna think about is the kind of person that you are. So are you a person that can work by themselves and doesn't mind being in other people's homes? That can be uncomfortable for some people. So just think about that. Do you mind driving? Do you mind eating your sandwich in your car? Is that all okay with you? You're going to be kind of in charge of yourself, being on top of your own behavior, making sure you're, working with your client, constantly engaging with them, things like that. Whereas in a clinic, you are going to be around all your coworkers, you're going to be around all the other clients. Your BCBA is going to be there a lot. In home, BCBA is going to visit just a few times a month, maybe. You might have like meetings outside of that client's house with them, but it really depends on the company here. Whereas in clinic, typically, you're going to see your BCBA just about every day. You're going to see, the management just about every day. So think about those when you're applying on which one would be more comfortable. Don't be afraid to try both. Don't be afraid to apply and just kind of see what happens and feel out what's comfortable. Some companies do offer both. So just things to think about there. So if you're wanting to get into the field, kind of what I recommend you do is put what you love and your passions on your resume. BCBAs love that. They love to see somebody that's going to bring their energy and their joy into their job. So go ahead and put those things on there. If you have any relevant experience with autism, special education, education in general, teaching like children, even as like daycare, preschool settings, any of that, anything with children, we're going to love. So putting that on there, I personally value food service workers, so like waiters, waitress. I think they have great personalities, typically high energy that we're looking for with the clients. And also they can deal with a lot of different changes and demands at a time. So, waiters and waitresses are very busy people, and same thing in ABA, you're always busy. So I value that job experience, so don't be afraid to put those things on there. And also do your research. So know what ABA is, know kind of what the field's about, kind of the good and the bad, things like that. So you can kind of answer those questions. And if you get to observe the floor is what I call it. So you have to observe the clients or in-home session, you kind of know what's going on. So you know what to expect from the company during your interview. All right, guys, so that was kind of my quick overview of how I got into the field, what to expect from a company, in-home versus, in clinic, and then also kind of for you to do. So if you guys have any questions, just go ahead and leave them down in the comments. Let me know. I can make another video to answer those. I can answer them in the comments. But thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys.